my previous video, I'm talking about this proto lifelike. I think it's proto one, but I'm not really sure. It's an older lifelike, the black chassis frame. Got that done. Did this one for my son. And then forget what I said about Walther's GP9 locomotives, the cheap ones. I had this one after I cut up the other one to make this one proper. I had some extra parts left over, so I fixed the handrails, and then I stuck some sun visors on there, some grab irons, and then they extended the window on the cab. I don't like how Walther's had the handrails fastened to the steps, so I did that, and you can see where I glued it. But it is what it is, and I'm gonna put a plow on this. And then here's the Proto 2000 SD9 that I was doing, the chop nose for BNSF. I gotta get some decals for microscale yet, but that's where this one is right now. And this one has two cab windows extended, and one on each side. This, like I said before, I saw this one in Grand Rapids, Michigan, CSX Wyoming yard. I videoed it. It was like 25 years ago or so. Been a while. So it was really neat to see that, and didn't really know what it was. I didn't know it was at the time it was an SD9 chop nose. So, but I do now. I did that one. Then here's this Scotto that I did, painted by brush, the whole thing. I don't know what that is there. Oh, that's just some debris. Anytime I can do a locomotive for under $100, I really like it. This one right here cost me $50. This one cost me $37, and then this one right here, oh, $60, $70. I had some of the parts. So then I managed to score an Atlas GE U23B undecorated. Got it on eBay from Trains. Buy it now for $45 and $10 shipping, so I got $55 into this, and I'm turning it into BNSF number 4276. Santa Fe rebuilt it back in 1987. It was in a wreck, so they rebuilt it. They upgraded it to SF30B. They turned it into 3,000 horsepower from 2,300 originally. And let me pause this real quick. And I'm not the first person to do this. There's a guy, his name was Steve Emerson. If you Google steveemerson.qstation.org/SF30B/, you'll find this. And this loco here, or the same loco, but this is before the BNSF merger. And this was what I was copying. See, this one came with those trucks, AAR, and so I didn't do exactly everything he did. I pretty close with the pieces of plastic parts that I have sitting around. I never throw anything away, including all my large stuff. Like, for instance, the yellow plastic there is, if I can find it quick. Let me put right here. This was a plastic toy car, I think it was a Tyco or whatever. But anyway, I had a yellow one, and it kind of matched the contours of this loco right there. So I'm going to use some some putty to glaze over that to make it correct, but this makes it, both sides will be easier to make them identical because I have some foundation behind it that's identical. And then these grills here, there were some parts that had some, something I made a SD45-2 CP. It had a couple parts left over, I cut down. And here's the extension on the sides. And the nose was different. The nose was different than the U23B. So I put some plastic over that. And here's the other side. But anyway, after the BNSF merger, I think GE had already gotten the maintenance on it, and GE downgraded it back to 2300. So this exhaust stack was made smaller. So Atlas still has that. Basically, it's a B23-7 exhaust stack, and then they have some FB2, some trucks off of B23-7. Atlas still has those, so I'm going to buy those and change the trucks on this. I'll get the picture of that off of Railroad Picture Archives. All right, Railroad Picture Archives, and you see they have some pictures of it after the merger, 4276, and find a picture of you see the trucks, they're different. There's B23-7 trucks, and the exhaust stack is smaller, so I've got to change those if I want to do it exact. And then while I was doing this, I was also doing a Rail Power Products Santa Fe SD45-2B. I don't have a chassis for this. This is going to get a Cotto SD40-2 chassis. That will make 8 Cotto SD42-2 chassis that I need. It'll probably take me a long time to get those. I like to get them at a low price, affordable. And sometimes buying stuff on eBay that's being bid on, you're better off just to buy it now if you can find them, or you can buy a whole complete locomotive for around $60 and just take the chassis and end up with another shell. So all I gotta do now is mix up some putty, fill in the cracks and grooves, sand it, and then sometimes if you want to know how well it looks, you have to put a little bit of paint over it, because sometimes you can't see the scratches or cracks or contours very well. So I'll sand it a little bit, and I'll paint some of it, and then I'll sand it. And then when you sand after you painted, the high spots will get worked down. You know, when you're sanding, you get the high spots, and the low spots will be the paint color you painted it, and you'll see where the low spots and the high spots are. Sometimes you can't see it with plastic very well. I have auto body experience, so doing stuff like this is fun and easy. And here's back to this U23 or SF30. I did the tank. They extended the size of the tank, but the Atlas tank moves around a little bit, so I did the best I could with what I've got. And then I cut the loops for this Atlas, because in order to get on and off, you have to squeeze it. I don't want to squeeze it anymore, and I go ahead and I glue everything together so that it's one shell. And then when you're all done and you get it painted and the decals on and you want to run it, you put your couplers in. And that will hold the shell on, so you can go ahead and pick it up anyway. But until then, you have to be careful. You don't just pick it up with a shell. And the same thing with this one here, because there's no way to fasten that to the chassis other than putting the couplers in. Okay? Thank you.